What if I told you the closest thing to an alien on Earth isn't hiding somewhere in deep space, but has been living right here in our oceans this entire time? A creature with no bones, blue blood, 3 hearts, 9 brains, and 8 arms that can think for themselves. A creature that can regenerate like something out of mythology, camouflage like a ghost, and solve problems with surprising intelligence. And yet, after hundreds of millions of years of evolution, it has never built anything resembling a civilization. This is the octopus, and the deeper you look into it, the stranger it becomes. Octopuses have around 500 million neurons, which is far less than humans. But what makes them unique isn't the number, it's how those neurons are organized. Instead of keeping everything centralized, an octopus distributes its intelligence throughout its body. It has 1 central brain and 8 additional clusters of neurons located in each arm, effectively giving every limb a degree of independence. That means each arm can move, explore, taste, and interact with the environment on its own, without waiting for instructions from the main brain. Imagine your hands being able to think for themselves, reacting to the world around them in real time. That's not just intelligence, it's something closer to a decentralized form of consciousness, and their anatomy only gets stranger from there. The octopus brain isn't neatly tucked away like ours. It's wrapped around its esophagus, which means that every time it eats something large, the food literally has to pass through its brain on the way to the stomach. It's an evolutionary design that seems almost absurd, and yet, it works. When threatened, an octopus has another advantage. It can sacrifice one of its arms to escape. The detached limb continues to move, distracting the predator, while the octopus slips away. And over time, that arm grows back, not as a damaged replacement, but as a fully functional limb, almost identical to the original. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of octopuses is their intelligence. No, they're not solving Rubik's Cubes in seconds. That part's a myth. But they are capable of solving puzzles, navigating mazes, escaping enclosures, opening jars from both the inside and outside, and even interacting playfully with objects in their environment. Some have even been observed using tools, carrying coconut shells across the ocean floor and assembling them as shelters when needed. That's not instinctive behavior. That's planning for the future. They also have 3 hearts, 2 that pump blood through the gills to absorb oxygen, and 1 that circulates it through the rest of the body. And unlike humans, their blood is blue, because instead of iron-based hemoglobin, they use a copper-based protein called hemocyanin. This allows them to survive in low-oxygen environments, although it's less efficient overall, which is why they need multiple hearts to compensate. And despite their alien biology, they display something surprisingly familiar: the ability to recognize individuals. In laboratory settings, octopuses have been observed reacting differently to specific humans, even when those humans wear identical clothing. In one case, an octopus repeatedly sprayed water at a particular staff member while ignoring others completely. It didn't just react, it remembered. Then there's their camouflage, one of the most advanced in the entire animal kingdom. Octopuses can change not only their color, but also their pattern and even the texture of their skin, all in less than a second. Their bodies are covered in specialized pigment cells called chromatophores, which expand and contract to produce an incredible range of visual effects. They can blend into rocks, coral, sand, or transform themselves to resemble entirely different animals. Some species even mimic predators like lionfish, sea snakes, or jellyfish, not to hide, but to scare away threats. And here's where it becomes almost paradoxical. Octopuses are technically colorblind. They only have a single type of photoreceptor, meaning they shouldn't be able to perceive color the way we do. And yet, they match their surroundings with incredible precision. One theory suggests that they use a phenomenon called chromatic aberration, allowing them to detect differences in light wavelengths, not by seeing color, but by interpreting how light behaves. In a sense, they may not see color, but they still understand it.
Nice.
At this point, it's hard not to ask, are octopuses even from Earth? In 2018, a controversial hypothesis proposed that their ancestors may have originated in space, arriving as frozen eggs carried by comets, a concept known as panspermia. It's a fascinating idea, but current genetic evidence suggests that octopuses evolved right here on Earth, diverging from other species around 135 million years ago. Still, even if they aren't extraterrestrial, they certainly feel like it. And then there's one final ability that sets them apart from almost every other animal. Octopuses can edit their RNA in real time.
What?
While most organisms rely on slow genetic mutations across generations, octopuses can make functional changes at the molecular level within their own lifetime, allowing them to adapt far more quickly to their environment. It's almost like they can rewrite parts of themselves without changing the original blueprint. So with all of this intelligence, adaptability, and biological advantage, why don't octopuses have a civilization? The answer lies in something simple, but devastating. They don't live long enough. Most octopus species live only between 6 months and 5 years. After mating, males begin to deteriorate rapidly, their bodies shutting down until they die. Females, on the other hand, dedicate the rest of their lives to protecting their eggs, often refusing to eat, until they starve to death shortly after the eggs hatch. And when those young octopuses emerge into the world, they are completely alone. There are no parents to guide them, no social structures to learn from, no accumulated knowledge passed down from one generation to the next. Every individual must figure everything out from the beginning. Imagine a species as intelligent as humans, but with no memory, no history, no culture, and no continuity. A world where every generation starts from zero. That is the reality of the octopus. Brilliant, adaptable, almost alien in every way, and yet fundamentally alone. So maybe the real question isn't why octopuses never built a civilization, but whether it's a good thing that they didn't. Because if they had, with 8 arms and minds in every limb, this planet might not belong to us. And honestly, this is just one of many strange truths hiding in our world. Things that sound impossible until you look a little closer. If you enjoy exploring ideas like this, the kind that make you question how much you really know, then consider subscribing to Oddology and maybe leave a like if this made you see things a little differently. Because the deeper you go, the stranger reality becomes. I'll see you in the next one.